CEO of SASSA talking to the regional manager of SASSA, but I'm talking also to others at SASSA, as the MEC is rightfully saying, hey, SASSA want to be phambili, ushiye emuva, bafanele ukugijima phambili because i-budget abayitholayo ingathi ithe phambili kunale yethu esiyitholayo. But at the same time, I agree with DM that we need to be creative, we need to be innovative. You know, our creativity and innovativity can never be anything that only rests with us and ends with us. Our creativity, innovative, and agility, here is the question, here is this thing, UDM will tell you that since nothing related by me, I've been talking about us being agile so that we can respond to our people much faster than we do. So then you like to hear that see always SASSA Utema describe again what Uneli is like a hand that is always looking after its chicks at all times. And Uneli is very protective, but Uneli is also very demanding of the people that she works with. And I thought it would be a good thing for me to start there, because Nelly is the program director today. And Nelly left us at HQ, and everyone was like, yo, Nelly, we are hamba. Sizokwenza njani. Ne KZN athi yo nathi siyamfuna uNelly. So it's very clear ukuthi this is what happens on the basis of imisebenzi eyenziwa uNelly. But obviously, don't praise the fish for swimming. But we are not fish, we are human beings. And therefore, when people need to be appreciated, they need to be appreciated here, not in corners. As the same as when people are being criticized, they must be told up front where the challenges are so that they can correct them. Because I wish to thank you for all the work that you have done in coordinating and ensuring that we pull ourselves together. And of course here we are with the Deputy Minister, who has elaborated particularly where the Deputy Minister has been and what she has seen. That's traumatic for each and every person that found themselves in that space. That is traumatic, so psychosocial support might like so that we can then be able to also go and confront and face those things that are out there. If we think the psychosocial support is something that needs to happen out there and you can't give it to your own, we're making a mistake. It's important for us, we have to be fit ourselves in order for us to be able to help people in the outside. So I'm saying to myself, to the Deputy Minister, to the MEC, to the mayors who are here today, around us so they see their feet. And the reason why I'm raising this is because I nearly didn't come here this morning, MEC. In my entire life, I've never been so sick. I didn't sleep. I was crawling from the toilets to the bedroom because I don't know what happened somewhere along the line. My stomach just said, it ain't happening. And the people that I was with, but no, Minister, you can't. You just have to stay. Martin, no, the devil is a liar, I'm going there. And I said, I will not disappoint the people that I work with. I might not be well, but I'm not dying. I mean, I don't go down very easily. So I said I have to come here, and that's why I wish to apologize that I arrived late, not because I wanted to. It's just that my state was not very good. It's still not good even now, but look, when you listen to the description of what the Deputy Minister and the rest of you have experienced out there, what is a stomach ache? What is throwing up and all that? You can still get up and dress up. We are waking up from comfort anyway. We are waking up from taking a good shower anyway, in order for you to be ready to do the work. And so I do though wish to say to all of you, it's important for us to take care of our health. It's important for us to be fit for purpose. Because when we are fit for purpose, then your service delivery is going to be seen by the people. So MEC and everyone, please make sure that all the officials around you, they are in good health so that they can be able to help our people. Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. You see, MEC, kuyafuneka ukuthi siqale ngokumbiza ngegama lakhe nesibongo sakhe before sizothi mina Premier's wife. Uzikalala, yes. Uzondi yena isibongo sakhe and please understand, I'm not being disrespectful in so saying, so that there must not be any misquote, because unfortunately we work in a very difficult environment. You say something, then it becomes something. It is not in any way disrespectful. She's the first lady of the province. But besides being a first lady herself, she's a social worker. And being a social worker, I think she will understand me even more when I say, in order for you to be strong, you're going to be able to take care of yourself. I'm hoping that this message that I'm sending to you, guys, you must take care of yourselves. I think we actually don't. We don't eat healthy, we don't live healthy lifestyle, we don't exercise, we don't do all those things, and yet we expect the body that the Almighty gave us to be fit for purpose. Being fit for purpose means you must start with yourself and take care of yourselves. So, thanking all the salutations have already been done earlier. The officials who are here of both DSD, SASA and NDA, I want to make the emphasis again that since we came to this department and we've been working very well, especially with the MECs and especially with the MEC COSA, we are a portfolio. And a portfolio means no way will SASA walk that way, NDA walk that way, DSD itself walk that way when there is something at the center that touches all of us. It's important for us to appreciate what I'm talking about us being a portfolio, because sometimes MEC is very strenuous and stressful, where people are supposed, in a place like this where there's been a disaster, you are expecting people to run to one center and sit in the center and say what has happened. But sitting at the center is about you who are here. But below you, there are many other structures that are supposed to, with agility, feed us with the information. So that when Minister Lindiwe Zulu wants the detail to the minutest detail, she's not doing it because she's being nasty or anything of that sort. And if there's one person that you know, when you go to present to Lindiwe Zulu, you must know your story. I've worked with her as her advisor, I've worked with her in the Department of Foreign Affairs then. So I know when she calls, I know that I've got to know my story. And knowing my story can only happen if there is a proper feed from the lowest right to the top. And this is one of the things that I really want to strongly suggest that we don't lose sight of. COVID has also taught us a good lesson. The structures that we had that assisted us to respond to COVID in the manner in which we responded, my view is those were the best lessons. It was painful, too many people died, people are still dying even today, but the bottom line is the manner in which South Africa pooled resources together, whether it's government, whether it's private sector, whether it's NGOs, whether it's whoever, they pulled together because there was a force that they couldn't not deal with. COVID didn't care. Whether we are minister, we are deputy minister, or COVID didn't care. If it caught you, it caught you, and if it took you, it took you. So there was an automatic collaboration, coordination, and working together, but there was agility also because we were threatened as a nation. Hence my view, MEC, DM, mayors, and everyone, we need to ask ourselves a few questions about issues of disaster management. I would like MEC from a point of view of this disaster and a point of view of COVID-19, I would like us at some point to come together again and say, when COVID started, what was our immediate reaction? What structures did we put in place to fight it? How did we mobilize communities when people didn't even want to wear the mask, when people didn't want to keep a distance? But ultimately we got people to do that, and ultimately we got people to do that for one and one reason. Everybody was threatened. Now, if we talk about this disaster that we are coming from now, the floods and the deaths and the destruction, can we go back and then say, when things have come down a little bit and we've done this, can we go back and say, what were our systems? Did our systems work for us? What were the weaknesses in our systems? Because when the DM is talking about the fact that umama ubesethe ukuya endlini ngasese wathe phuma lapho wayesehlangana nodaba, the issue is we need to ask from a local government level, are we communicating effectively enough to our people for them to realize the dangers that we now have due to climate change and the changes that are happening? Are we spending enough time talking to our people, making them aware ukuthi izinto zishintshile? I was in a meeting Minister Lindiwe, I think last week here. I went to the sea. The blue was 10 kilometers away, if not more. And it came to my mind, and the iskukula ebezilapho. I looked at this and I said to myself, can we use this crisis to help in the educating, conscientization, enabling, and feed people information engahambi phezu kwamakhanda wabo? Because sinamaphepha amahle kabi, siyabhala, sipresente, but the information just goes above their heads, basale bona belapho bekhona. Then I said to myself, and actually I didn't only say that to myself, I called Minister Barbara Creasy, Minister Barbara, if we are not united in this thing called climate change, if we are not coming together and working together and working with communities and our partners, all mutual and all, we are never going to be able to deal with this disaster because so we don't see picture all the time. We now know, the scientists are telling us what is going to happen. Are we telling our people what the scientists are telling us in the simplest ways of explaining to our people? We can trace it back. Ngoba mawuhambi emakhaya kukhona nje indonga mawuyenhlaza nje kukhona indonga uyazibona ukuthi indonga ziyakhula. Are we talking to the people, showing them that le ndonga lezi zaqala 20-30 years ago? Le ndonga masezinje nale way amanzi agijima ngakhona kusho ukuthi in the next 30 years the situation might even be worse. Nomzi lo omile lapho wasenkalathaba ukume kanje kungenzeka nje kufika amanzi ukhukhulu lahlekele. Are we talking to our people, explaining that to them, and also asking them to work with us and hold hands with us? We need to tell our people ukuthi ake babheke u10 kilometers we-blue. Sibatshela ukuthi possibility is that if things don't change, come December when they want to go to the same beach, that beach will not be blue. They will understand it better. They will appreciate it better because at the end of the year or beginning of the year. But masibabonisa lethombe, sibabonisa ukuthi ngo December, chances are that it will not be like this. It will not be like the way nijwayele ngakhona. We need to improve in the communication with our people. We also need to use the fact that the president now declared this as a national disaster, and we must be very thankful for that because we have legislation, we have regulations, sometimes which tie us up. Sibathe sifuna ukuphuma ngapha kuthiwe no you can't do it. Ubathi uphuma ngapha kuthiwe no you can't do it. But now that the declaration has been done, I think it's going to enable us to do a whole lot of things which we have not been able to do. Basically because the disaster is not only in KZN, but the greatest impact and loss, both of people, both of infrastructure, both of all those things is happening here in KZN. Can we make KZN as a lesson for the other provinces? Because this is happening here. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, Eastern Cape, what is going to happen the next day in Northern Cape. So I also want to say our planning, implementation, monitoring and evaluation. Because monitoring and evaluation is what helps us to see, did our system work well? Did our system kick in on time? But before you even think about your system kicking in on time, the radio was already telling people, kukhona okuzayo. But as they were listening to it, by the way, so everybody omamela le radio oyithola ngaleso sikhathi kukhulunywa ngayo. What do we do as a Department of Social Development to have consistent communication that is broken down right down to the lowest level? Because the people who we must empower, DM, in my view, singahlala thina lapha national size sigijima manje ngoba sekwenzeke lokho, but when only certain kind MEC mayors sizofika sikhulume sihambe siphindele la sivela khona. The bottom line is, what do we do to make sure that all the structures at district development model, all mayor, all councillor, all banban, siyabathumela yini once bathola le information ukuthi kukhona okuzayo bagijime all over basho ukuthi kukhona okuzayo, so that maybe some of these people, because sekuno Google namhlanje bakithi, sekunama scientists namhlanje, sekune information esiyitholayo thina long before, senzani ngale information ukuze leyo information i-empower your ordinary people. What do we do? Kungenzeka nje ukuthi if we knew, ngoba we knew ukuthi ama-scientists athini, we could have said to our communities, yey, ngelanga lithize, u-weather person, ngoba yabona bayambheka u-weather person. And I think abamlaleli ngoba bavele bathi ithini temperature, but how 21 but hayi siyahamba. Whereas in all honesty, if we empower our people to say to them, it's important for you to watch ukuthi weather ithini, because doing that might help us to be proactive in trying to save some of the places. Lastly, ngifuna ukusho ukuthi we must, MEC and DM, can we look at these crises that have happened and say, what is it that we could have prevented? Let's be honest to ourselves, because we are helping ourselves, we are helping our communities. Can we be able to say what could have been done? Because Sasias, Nimendela, the report yase Western Cape, Yamajojo, Ashile now. But we know there's always fires every year at this time. What are we doing about it? And the issues that are being raised by the DM, they are here and here. You see, if people keep things only here and don't bring them to the heart, they end up just doing umsebenzi. Now I think Tina sisebenza ngoba lento esiyenzayo is sitting both here and here. Keep it in the heart, because if you keep it in the heart, the state of the people will be consistent in your mind and in your heart. What is the state of the people? Masisuka la sekuthe ukwehla kufuneka sibuyele emuva siyo-check ama-systems wethu ukuthi aresponde kanjani, and MEC uneli must demand for those reports right down to the bottom. Immediately demand for those reports ukuthi what did you do, when did you do it, how did you do it, what did you have in your disposal, so that mase sike sesihlangana nisonke sesizokwazi ukuthi these are the things that were in our power to do long before this. These are the things that were not in our power, because the weather is not in our power, but the science is in our power. Science tells us what's going to happen. We also need to learn from other countries that have been dealing with disasters. Tina, we must still be thankful to the Almighty. Sibe thankful nasemadlozini. Safuneka siyosholeza still. Sibe thankful emadlozini ukuthi if we look at disasters of other countries and we look at our own disaster as a nation, we are still blessed. But we don't know how long that blessed is going to be. What we need is to be proactive. What we need is to pull our resources together. What we need is work united. One of the problems that I see, MEC, we compete over nonsense. Uthi tufonela lo, athi hayi mina nguphi uthi tufonela lo. And they were like, guys, you are not supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be sitting in one place and talking to each other, just like Tina President uyasibiza ngithi uPrema uyababiza or MEC bonke nani biza nani neli national, provincial, local biza nani nikhulumisane long before the disaster happens, because nizwile ukuthi disaster yes. It is just not acceptable also ukuthi sothi sizwa ukuthi disaster iyeza kube ngathi sithi hayi sizoyibona maseyifikile. We can't. It's not good for our people. We are a government that cares, and if we are a government that cares, it means we must be proactive. Basically, to our partners. Old Mutual is here, but I want to raise another issue. There are many other partners that want to work with us. However, we are not coordinating our partners properly. And some of our partners end up actually feeling very bad about us and complaining about us that we are not letting them in. Government cannot do this alone. Let's just accept. Government cannot do this alone. Some of the resources from a human resource point of view sit outside of government. And therefore government must try by all means to mobilize and organize and say, all mutual. And it would be good if we had a few coming together so that we don't have the problem of people are double dipping. You know, my brother sent me an SMS today. I was reading this SMS at when I visit. Oh, George, basendleleni bezama KZN bazodimanda izinto ezingezona ezabo. Ubuntu buyephi? And I'm thinking to myself, yo, I wonder about this over. But the mere fact that there's that, it means if your systems are not working well, you will never be able to know who is who. This department in its portfolio, I've said to them, if we have to service DSD, our services, We must do it house to house, street to street, community to community, in order for us to understand. But you cannot do that on your own. Our volunteer program, which was started by the National Development Agency, these are the moments where our volunteers should be consistently, continuously trained and be available, but exit and those who can exit, because you can't keep them forever. So I'm very grateful that I got a chance to be here. Sizosebenza UDM, because UDM has been here much longer than I have been. I wish to thank the DM for all the areas that she has covered. But also I wish to thank the province, because Maniti, let us strengthen your local and provincial structures. It's the best machinery we can ever have. Imali eningi kungcono ize la kwa-local nase-province, because these are the people who live with the people on day-to-day basis. That's what we need to do. And I'm hoping that that message is a message that can be spread. That's what I fight for. And I'm very clear about it. The basis for fighting for it is the same as you said, MEC, no, umeya, ute, yazi ukuthi u-DSD, ubizwa nalanga ubizwa khona u-DSD. Bafanele abantu kusibiza, because our mandate is about the well-being of every citizen across the board. We focus on the most marginalized on the basis that they need to be lifted. And all the other departments are very important to us, because there's no way we can service other people when there's no housing, there are no roads, there's no hospitals, there's no clinics. So CDSD, sinomsebenzi omningi ukuthi siphushe inani ukuthi sibuze ukuthi what is the state of the people? How do we change the state of the people? We can't change it alone. We need all the other departments to be part and parcel of us, so that we can be able to create a better life for our people. Ngiyabonga kakhulu program director, ngicabanga ukuthi ilanga ingathi liphumile, sibonge ukuthi liphumile, because ilanga maliphumile kanje kusho ukuthi abantu bazokwazi ukuthi ke bathu gijima. Nathi ke ake sigijime while ilanga lisekhona, so that we can see, and also the coordination of all these MEC is very important. Ukuthi sihleli la, siu-DSD, it's okay, but when all is said and done, government, machinery, collectively together, only then can we be able to help our people.